Smile, you're okay to camera, Joe.
All right, everyone, welcome. This is Ashley Beccaro. I'm going to take roll. Joseph Mamoni,
Present.
Phyllis Gibbs, Sherry Reeves,
Present.
Cheryl Turner,
Present.
Lynn Cacadillis,
Present.
Lynn Kroger, Alex Quigley,
Present.
Tammy Sutton, Stephen Walker,
Present.
Heather Von Cannon, Bruce Friend.
Present.
All right, we have a quorum, and if you are attending for Poquoson, if you could state your name, that would be helpful.
Stephanie Bell. Here.
Oh, hey, Lynn.
Hey.
And
Stephanie Bell.
Stephanie Phelps, thank you.
Jonathan Pullman. Laura Biggs. Gabrielle Davenport.
Okay, I think I have Victoria Harrison, Stephanie Phelps, Laura Biggs,
Correct.
and Constance Davenport.
Gabrielle Davenport.
Gabrielle, okay.
Jonathan Pullman.
And Jonathan Pullman, okay. All right, thank you. Did I miss anybody? All right, I'm going to go ahead and read the ethics statement and before we get started. Board members are reminded that it is your duty to avoid conflicts of interest and the appearance of conflicts of interest as you handle the work of the advisory board. Does any member of the advisory board know of any conflict of interest or any appearance of conflict with respect to any matters coming before us at this meeting? If so, please state them for the record. If during the course of the meeting you become aware of any actual or apparent conflict of interest, please bring the matter to the attention of the chair. It will then be your duty to abstain from participating in discussion on the matter and from voting on the matter. All right, I think we're ready to go. Do you want a summary from Dr. Williams, or Alex, you just want to get started with questions?
If Dr. Williams wants to give us the summary, I'm not sure if she had an opportunity to evaluate formally, but if she could just give us a summary.
Okay.
Great. And then my question for Poquoson is if they can give us, from their perspective, an update of where things moved from our last meeting. I think we have all the documents, but as long as the rest of the board is with that.
Heather Van Cannon on the line.
Great.
Hey, good morning, board members. This is Keebler Williams. We are gathered this morning for you all to question and deliberate about Poquoson Innovative Charter's readiness to open and whether or not they should proceed with opening in August of 2019 as planned, or what should be the alternative if one is necessary. They were required to provide, at your request, documentation relating to all of the comments from their June progress recheck that was completed on June 21st. In response to that, they provided 31 documents, of which you were forwarded on Friday afternoon, shortly after they were provided to me. As I mentioned to you in my message to you, I have not had an opportunity to review these documents, and so it will be important for you to ask as many questions as you have to the Poquoson board members and also the Poquoson principal that's on the line, so that you can get a clear understanding of their readiness to open at this point.
Okay, great. So I guess my question would be, could the principal introduce himself and then just give us, and then either board or principal give us an update on kind of the big progress, key items that we've seen significant progress from the last time that we were on our call, that going to make us feel comfortable that you're ready to move forward.
Okay, good morning. My name is Dr. Jonathan Owen. I was hired as of July 1st to be principal for Coastal. Prior to that, I was a principal at SMA Kaiser Fox Charter School in East Central North Carolina. Last year, I opened that school, and based on my prior experience and review of the rubric, I think I feel pretty good about our readiness to open in terms of all the things that were required of the board. I've gone through with the board in detail all of the items that were brought forth. And so I think I've got a pretty good understanding of where we are, and we've met all of the challenges. Our board has worked very, very diligently, and so we're ready to rock and roll, and we'll do the best to answer as many of your questions as we can. Thank you.
I'm just going to keep going unless board members have a specific question. Okay. I guess one of the things that we were pressing was the budget, and so I thank you for submitting the 3 different budgets.
You're welcome.
Could someone on the board or the principal give us an overview of the kind of significant differences? And before we do that, what is your current enrollment at this point?
Would it be possible, Alex, if anybody is not actually speaking, if they can mute their phone, if they have the ability to do that? There's a lot of background noise making it hard to hear.
Much better.
Okay, so I guess I'll ask this of the principal. What's the current enrollment? So the big, let me just try, because it's hard to go back and forth on the conference call. 3 questions. What's the current enrollment? Give us an update on enrollment. Give us an update on teacher hiring, and then walk us through what kind of the different budget scenarios. What are the big cuts that you would make to make sure that the budget would meet, be able to be balanced, and then I guess we'll take it from there. So let's talk about those 3 things in that order. So enrollment, hiring, budget.
Enrollment currently is 175. Teacher hiring, we have all of our teachers in place except for one, and that would be the PD teacher, which we're seeking. And in terms of budget, I would say that the major difference would be enrollment. If we drop enrollment or change enrollment, the numbers change as well. And we correlated those with dollars coming in from the state and the federal dollars as well.
Well, I guess a follow-up to that is just with the budget, what would you actually cut given that if enrollment drops?
I guess our major cuts would be salary and benefits, because some of the costs are remain the same. Facility costs, utilities, building insurances, debt service. I think those would be our major cuts in the budget.
When you said, this is Cheryl, when you say you're going to cut salary and benefits, are you saying you'll hire less people or you'll pay less money?
Yes, we'll hire, thank you, Cheryl. We'll hire less people. Yes, it will cost us less money.
You said you're fully staffed. Are you fully staffed for 175?
hours.
You would have to let some people go.
Yes, we would.
Do you have
That
a
number.
certified EC teacher?
Yes, we do. And she's coming by this morning to work with me on another project, so yes, we do.
For perspective, what was the, please remind me, what was the original enrollment projection to be?
The original projection was 250 students.
Thank you.
Is that what you have in the CSADM system? 250?
They have 196 in the CSADM system because their facility max capacity is 196.
Okay. And on the,
This is
Yeah,
Linda.
go ahead.
You are still enrolling children today, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And are you doing any other activities to market to the counties around, and you're right in where the school is located?
Yes, one of the things that we're doing is we're visiting churches, and we are going to various events. We also are creating marketing materials that we'll distribute in all of the surrounding counties. So we'll be working 7 days a week. I will be working 7 days a week in the board will to make sure that we get those extra 25 or 30 students, more if we can.
When do you open? What is your projected open date?
August 26th.
okay, what about the facilities? Dr. Williams, they have a seat, I can't remember from last time, they have a certificate of occupancy, they're ready to go on the facility.
Yes, they have an approved certificate of occupancy.
Okay, and and last time we talked about lunch and buses, I saw in the documents, some commitments from churches to give us small assistance with lunch. Just remind us, are you participating in the free and reduced lunch program? And is the Trump's catering program that you've been approved, where are we on lunch? And then give us an update on transportation.
Okay, we have our 2 buses secured. They should be delivered any day now. They have our logo on it on both buses. One's a 76 passenger, one's a 71 passenger. In terms of lunch, I met with Ms. Trump and her husband and the board chair on Friday. We both executed the contract. She has offered to bring us additional lunches at no cost to us, just to make sure that children are fed. So every day we'll have extra breakfast, lunch, and snacks for kids. We also are working very hard to get commitments from local churches so that we can establish a food pantry as well for those children who unfortunately may not be able to participate in a paid program. Also, I'm working today with my board to complete the bell schedule for the school. Once we complete that, we'll send our bell schedule and our annual calendar to Ms. Gutero, who's our regional person for the lunch program. She will then send that to Ms. McGowan, and we could be in the process. We're hoping to be on the lunch program no later than December of this year.
What do you mean by food churches providing food from the food pantry for kids who can't afford to pay for lunch? What do you mean by that?
We're asking them for financial donations to help us stack or place food in an area here in the school where we can warm up breakfast or lunches for the kids.
So these kids would have something different than the other children.
Possibly, yes. But that's why we're asking for that's why we talked about this issue with Ms. Thomas, and that's why she's agreed to provide us with additional lunches.
I have a question about the contract. It's in the documents. It said it was $2.90 a meal, and then the board minutes reflected that they are requesting $3.20 a meal. Is that $2.90 and $3.20 for breakfast and $3.20 for lunch?
Yes, it is.
And so, how many? You're projecting, excuse me, 175 students attending, but this area is very high in participation for free and reduced lunch. So how many of these actual paid lunches are you anticipating that will be delivered each day?
I can answer that. Hi, I'm Laura Biggs on the board with Pocosin. Several of us board members this past week in trying to get a better grasp on the transportation and who will be riding buses from our locations or cars. We called every student and every family that we could get up with, as best as we could. Some we didn't get return calls, but after speaking with them, and we asked about transportation, but then we also talked with them about our lunch and what we were planning to do. And they were more than willing, happy to pass a lunch. I think of the 50, families I called, there was maybe one or two that were kind of upset about it not having free or reduced lunch, but we're in the process. Working with Ms. Totero, she thinks it won't take us long. Once we're approved, we are going to switch from the caterer. The contract with her is just through December so that we can pick up with Washington County Schools to participate in the National School Lunch Program. And then at that point, we can offer those kids free and reduced lunch. So this is just temporary until all of that is in place in hopefully December. And parents were more than willing to do that when we said this is temporary, due to opening up an acceleration, but we'll have that available shortly. And they were totally okay with it.
Can you help explain? I may have misunderstood you. You're working with a caterer who you said would provide additional meals for the students who needed them. But then you're also talking about churches and food pantries. So if the caterer is providing extra meals, how do you do the food pantry option?
So that's just a backup because we aren't, sure. We have a percentage in our mind. We have a percentage in our mind about how many kids would qualify for free and reduced lunch, but it's high in our area. So we want to make sure, even with the caterer providing additional meals, that we have monetary donations that we can purchase extra meals so that the kids are having the same lunch. And then other churches would rather donate like a Food Line gift card instead of the money. And so we would buy items and snacks for kids just as needed, or if they're hungry, or after school. Just for whatever. Kids are hungry. We want to make sure we have food for these kids, no matter what.
Okay. Other questions from the board?
How firm is that?
What are the grade levels that, with all the students, where are the grade levels of the 175, and do you anticipate grade level being this balance, off balance, and whatnot?
Give me just 1 minute to pull that paper out. One second. Okay, so right now, we have approximately 28 in kindergarten. And we've got 2 teachers for that, 19. Not 19, excuse me. Let me figure that. Oh, it's right here, I'm sorry. Okay. 19 first graders, that's correct. 16 second graders, 19 third graders, 19 fourth graders, 16 fifth graders, 22 sixth graders, 15 seventh graders, and 10 eighth graders. And then I know that one of our board members just looked at our application enrollment, and we had 2 more enroll over the weekend. 2 more signed up, 3 actually, excuse me. And they're in first. They were a 5th grader and a 3rd grader and a 7th grader. 3rd, 5th, 7th. Yes, that's right. So
How are you planning to provide the instruction you need in middle school with classes that small? How is that working?
okay, so we have a male teacher that's hired for math and science, and he would have the 7th and 8th combined, just, you know, like in the room, kind of like their home base, and we would do them. We have a lady, female teacher, to do ELA and social studies, the home base kind of for the 6th graders, and then that's what we're going to begin working on today, how that schedule would look for them, for their instruction between those 2 groups in 2 classrooms.
Good morning. This is Heather Van Cannon. Just a quick question. With your EC population, I think I heard one of my fellow board members ask about a certified EC teacher. But just to piggyback off of that a little bit, what about what you're going to need to provide to the EC students? Because I'm not sure, have you started receiving IEPs yet?
That's on the agenda for today. We start going through the IEPs that were turned in enrollment packets, and I have a spreadsheet already made that has if they are what their modifications, or if they need modification, if they're 504, if they need OT, PT, all of those services that they are going to need, because we've already have a company on services.
Right.
That's why our EC teacher is coming today to help us with that, so that we can start looking at the services we need to go ahead and get here for these students.
Okay. Well, the reason I'm asking is I was looking at your budget, and there's a $25,000 contingency, and then it looks like there would be a fund balance of about $5,600 or something along those lines. And my concern is if you need a one-on-one or something, or let's say you continue to enroll
Right,
even after
right.
the start of school, and the
Great
students,
question.
you know, yeah. So
Okay,
you know,
so
can
we
you
actually
address
already
that?
have, we already have a student in 1st grade that does require a one-on-one for mobility reasons due to his disability. And one of our bus drivers is also a TA and willing to be that one-on-one for that student.
Oh, okay. And so,
So that's already built into the budget. Under transportation is where that salary and benefits would be into that budget.
okay. Thank you.
This is Joe here. Just the 175 number, I just want to confirm, those are definite enrollments, not just applicants and interested applicants. Is 175 confirmed?
Correct. No, they are
Okay.
enrolled. They have it
Okay.
and confirmed their seat.
And have teachers been assigned that you've hired? Have teachers been assigned to reach out to these students and families over the course of the next month? It's always precarious coming into a new school that people sign up and then don't show up that first day. So it'd be really important to
Right.
follow up.
It's hard to hear you. Could you repeat that? It was a little muffled.
Just want to make sure you have a plan to have teachers follow up with the families that have committed to enroll. Because sometimes we take it for granted that they're enrolled and don't follow up with them, and then they don't show up that first day. So you have a plan for that?
Well, we just earlier in the call, the board members, we called every student this past week, every family, and talked with them, and they're all planning to attend.
Let me add something to that, Joe. I plan to personally visit with each family within the next before school starts, and try to reconfirm their commitment to the school, because I think that as a leader of the organization, if I am reaching out to the parents and actually meeting with them, not a phone call, but going to their house and meeting with them, I think that'll add some value, and hopefully they'll all show up.
A friendly suggestion there, I would have teachers send postcards addressed to the students and families individually before school starts. That really helps get that acclimation started. So I would recommend that. You have on your calendar August 15th to 22nd, about 7 days of professional development. Just talk briefly about what you plan to do with those 7 days in that schedule. Nothing too elaborate, but just what are your plans for those 7 days for your teachers?
Yeah, generally, what we want to do is bring all the teachers together, do some introductions. We want to talk about our different curriculums. We want to talk about the flow of the school. We want to talk about the bell schedule. We also will do professional development with our technology with all of the teachers in terms of, I want to say, the financial side, field trips, things of that nature, payments for different services or whatever we might do outside of the school. We also want to bring in, as you know, our curriculum has a very strong agricultural component. So we will be bringing in people from various farms, from the ocean, the huge paper mills, things of that nature, introducing them to the staff. And what we want to do is try to set up possible field trips during that first week for the first 30 to 60 days, and really incorporate agricultural into the very fiber of our classrooms. Another thing that we'll be doing during our professional development is talking about our grading scales and the technical parts of just the daily operation of the school. We'll be talking about dress code. We'll be talking about meals, snacks, before school, after school, the bus routes, all of those things.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Guys, after looking at this and hearing everything, I feel like the school doesn't need a delay. I think they're close enough that they'll move forward and have everything done in time. So I move that we recommend to the state board that they move them on and ready to open and go ahead and sign the charter.
This is Gwendolyn, and I second that.
All right, so properly moved and seconded. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, Ashley, I'll call for a roll call vote.
Okay.
Call everyone's name.
Lynn Cacadillas,
Yes.
Stephen Walker,
Yes.
Bruce Friend,
Yeah.
Cheryl Turner,
Yes.
Alex Quigley,
Yes.
Sherry Reeves,
Yes.
Heather Von Cannon,
Yes.
and was Lynn Kroger.
Yes.
All right, it passes unanimously.
All right, I think you all have made a lot of good progress in a short period, and I think you need to keep really keep your foot to the floor in terms of moving all of these pieces forward so that you can open on time and open without issues. I think certainly meeting with parents and as board member mentioned regarding calling every single parent to ensure their enrollment, and to do that at least 2 more times until you have as many touch points, and that'll, you'll have a higher percentage of people actually showing up, or at the very least, as the date gets closer, who's actually going to come, and you'll be able to make adjustments if needed. So keep taking that level of intensity and detail into the process, and you have a much higher chance of being successful. So good work. You guys have moved the ball quickly in a short period of time. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions, discussions?
I'll move
All
to
right.
adjourn.
Move to adjourn. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
They didn't vote to keep them going.
Just so you know, the live streaming might be still on. To get him in here.
Have a great week, everybody. Welcome Monday.
Yep.
So Dave, at 175, 70%, do you want to, with 196 as that? As enrollment? And it's 70% of 250, which was their original max.
Leave it at
196.
I mean, I don't think it's gonna be as bad.
legal staff. How's your intern going? Great.
Yeah, really well, really well. Actually, it's my first day back after a week off. I got married 2 weekends ago. So, so it's getting back in the swing of things now. I appreciate it.
Figure out contact with that guy.
I'd say it's Howard. 100% certain.